Hello, my friends. I'm trying something new today. I have my YouTube live stream going, and here we are on Instagram as well. So drop some love in the comments. Let me know how your weekend was. I'm going to try my best at looking at both platforms. Okay, so today we are going to discuss my favorite topic. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I absolutely positively feel blood sugar regulation should be the main focus for every single person. Now, I'm not saying that this should become an obsessive compulsive thing whatsoever, because I know some professionals out there do think that wearing a blood glucose monitor for those that are not diabetic can create issues. I beg to differ. I think that knowledge is power. Let me know if you agree in the comments. And the more we know about our body and how our body is triggered by stress, by lack of sleep, and by high glycemic foods, the more we are going to just be able to use these tools for bettering our body and bettering our health. Okay, so I am going to put on my blood glucose monitor for you people. For you people on Instagram, I'm looking over because I have my live stream on YouTube going. I'm going to do my best to try to do this and maybe even get a third for my Facebook friends, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time to be on all the platforms. So I just need to do my best to be efficient in 2024. That is one of my biggest resolutions, is not only being more organized but being efficient. And any of you out there that are content creators or online coaches, the struggle is real. Okay, so with this NutriSense monitor, I'm going to put it on first, and then we're going to chat a little bit about the benefits of regulating your blood sugar and why I find it to be the most powerful tool you can use in the nutrition realm. I use the NutriSense because it's super easy and the app is super friendly. So I always choose a place on my tricep, and there's no exact spot you have to be, but I just tend to go behind my arm. I make sure it's not too far back in there because I don't want it brushing against my, outer chest area, but I will clean it off. You get two pieces to the puzzle. Okay. So pretty self explanatory. And they do have a video that walks you through it if you don't trust me. But you peel off the top. This is what it looks like. The needle is in there. And then this is the applicator. So you twist it. And this is what basically releases the needle and puts it into the applicator. And so you see that there's just only one right way to do it. You can't do it wrong. It's not like, oh my gosh, what if I do it wrong? Because it won't allow you to push it in. Okay, so when you find it, push it in, pull it up. You can see the needle's in there. All my YouTube friends. Okay, and then I do my best to find the spot that I wiped off, and I'm going to push it in. And it's very painless. There is an adhesive that allows it to stick, and then I dispose of that. So basically what you do is you download the app and you do a scan. So if I had my phone, I would scan it, and then it takes a while to get acclimated, to get all the things, calculated. And then every couple hours, you just put it there, you click the scan on the app, it buzzes, and then it shows you where you're at. Okay. So clearly it shows you about 2 hours after you eat is when you can really see what's going on with your blood glucose. But why I absolutely think every single person, I don't care if you're eating paleo, if you're gluten free, if you are doing intermittent fasting, if you're vegan, whatever you are doing, I feel that your focus should also be on what is going on with your blood sugar. Because if you're not familiar with the importance of keeping your blood sugar regulated, it's also to keep insulin levels healthy. So when we eat high glycemic foods, when we are super stressed out, when we are exercising in a fasted state in an intense manner, this is going to spike our blood sugar. Okay. So when that happens, our pancreas releases insulin, and Sorry, I need to stop reading comments because it gets me distracted. But pancreas releases insulin, and this is supposed to bring blood sugar back down to baseline. If we're healthy individuals, it's okay to have a spike, but when we release the insulin, blood sugar comes back down to a healthy place. So the healthier you are, the more muscle mass you have on your body, the more active you are, it basically just allows us to be very efficient at coming back to a normal blood sugar. Now, when you're not so healthy, you're eventually going to have to, shoot out more and more insulin to bring your blood sugar back down. And then you're going to have fast increases, fast drops. And so the healthier you are, the more you're going to be able to get away with a little bit, more. Not that you're trying to get away with eating unhealthy, but in the cases you do splurge, you're not going to notice as extreme highs, as extreme lows. And, so that's the biggest thing. Now, when you have a healthy blood sugar, you're going to be in a fat burning zone. You're not going to be in a fat storage zone because when insulin levels are out of whack, we will have a very difficult time burning fat. So that's when you see women that are eating, or women and men that are not eating a lot of food, but they're all very soft and they have a lot of fat on their body. And it's because their blood sugar's out of whack, their insulin's probably out of whack. This is, the fact that you can become type 2 diabetic even when you are small and even when you are only eating 500 calories a day. So it's very important to understand that calories in versus calories out is not going to serve you in the long run if you are putting junk in your body. Hitting your macros is okay, but a lot of people that do count macros might not be as efficient at fat burning and, sculpting their body and dropping the fat in the way they want to drop it. And let me know in the comments if you've ever counted macros and you're hitting your calories, you're hitting your macros, but you just are not seeing the changes you want and you're still feeling very lethargic, you're feeling like high energy at times and then you crash at times. If you feel you need a pre-workout, that could mean that your blood sugar is not regulated. But with macro counting, when you um can I share this when you're oh yes, absolutely, I will. So when you are counting macros, if you are someone that saves your carbs for the tail end of the day, let's say, because I know a lot of friends of mine that used to macro count, the 20 something year old body is not the 40-year-old body. Okay. So it's that much more important as we age as females because our hormones are shifting to really hone in on our blood sugar. But when you save all your macros and you're not balancing that meal, that's when you're going to have a quick spike in blood sugar because carbs without the additional protein, without the additional fiber, without the additional healthy fat is going to cause your blood sugar to spike because it's digested very quickly, especially if you're consuming carbs that are high glycemic. So I have created a GI guide. If you've not already downloaded it, then after I post this, and after I post this for everyone on YouTube, drop GI guide in the comments and I will send you my freebie. And I've also created a full masterclass about the glycemic index and blood sugar for any of you interested. And, I tell my clients of everything I program for them, the hormone balancing information, the gut health, the blood sugar regulation. I tell them if there's one thing to really deep dive into and watch all my videos and absorb all the information, it's the glycemic index, blood sugar regulation. It's all of those things that have to do with a healthy blood sugar that's really going to expedite your process because I know I'm different than you. I am different than a lot of people. However, I myself have never counted a macro. I've never counted calories. I've never weighed my food. I've never been a slave to the calculator. The one thing I have remained consistent on for 22 years is low glycemic nutrition the majority of the time. And on occasion, when I splurge and I want to splurge, which everyone's entitled to splurging, your cheat meals, I know that's just got such a bad connotation, but it's all about context. I'm telling you, you're entitled to your cheats and your fun foods and whatever, in moderation. And when you do want those, then if you have been eating majority low glycemic outside of those splurges and you know those little hacks, like movement before and after you eat the junk, and trying to build as much muscle mass on your body to allow you to not have such extreme spikes. All of these things are going to allow you to maintain and reach your goals a little bit quicker. So, and not to mention, when you are keeping a healthy blood sugar, like I mentioned, you're not going to feel like, oh yes, I'm full of energy, I carbo loaded, I feel great, I'm going to power through my workout. And then when you're done with your workout, you crash and you're wondering why. Or when you work out, you need a pre-workout to even move your body. I mean, you should not need a pre-workout. And so if you are following low glycemic nutrition, you are trying to de-stress in the best way possible or manage your stress better. That's the one thing that I notice with the blood glucose monitor, is when I am in a state of stress, how it impacts your blood sugar. And sometimes we need to see it, see the actual spike to really make a change. And for me, I know that the information that I see is going to mean more than reading in a book like, oh, stress impacts your blood sugar. Okay, that's great, but maybe not mine. But when you actually see it, it's going to hold you a little bit more accountable. And then also knowing that you're wearing it, it's kind of like when you're having someone check your food log, which a lot of my clients don't keep food logs because it's not helpful for them, but I always tell them that I can check that if they want. But the fact that there is a food log option, and people tell me, Sarah, you don't even need to look at this, I'm just going to put it in there, and knowing that you have access to it and you could be viewing it, that in itself is going to keep me a little bit more on task. Let me know if that is your personality, if being held accountable and having someone see it, or maybe seeing it yourself, having to write it out, is going to make you live a little cleaner. I know a lot of people are that way. And so that's what I had a conversation with one of my clients. She's like, should I start your program? Should I get the glucose monitor first? What should I do? And for any of you looking into working with me, I do not force anyone to be, taking this test. You don't have to take the gut biome test. You don't have to do the blood glucose monitor. You don't have to get your labs done. But any bit of information that you know about your body is going to be that much more helpful, and it's going to expedite your process. So I understand everyone's in a different place with what you're able to invest in. And that's when you just have to prioritize what you really need to prioritize. But I'm telling you that understanding your blood sugar is a place to start. It's probably the best place to start, in my opinion, unless you're having extreme gut issues to where you're like, I need to get a handle on my gut health. But at the end of the day, you can do both simultaneously, because you can just focus on the foods that are low glycemic. And so, again, if you're not familiar with the glycemic index, it was originally created for diabetics who clearly have blood sugar issues and insulin issues. And this is to show you how quickly foods with carbohydrates are digested in your body. So the high glycemic foods like white bread, straight sugar, watermelon, pineapple, pretzels, rice cakes, yes, those things are high glycemic, even though they're very low calorie. When you eat them, they're digested very quickly in the body. They spike your blood sugar very quickly. And when that happens, pancreas releases insulin to bring blood sugar back down to baseline. And so through time, if you're having the high glycemic foods over and over and over, then eventually you're going to have more and more insulin has to be more and more insulin is required to do the same job. Okay. You become insulin resistant. This puts you in a fat storage zone. This puts you at risk for type 2 diabetes, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So, any of you that might have PCOS, clearly you need to really hone in on low glycemic nutrition. Type 2 diabetics, same thing. You need to hone in on very low glycemic nutrition and understand how to eat your high glycemic foods in moderation, in the healthiest of manners. So I created the GI Masterclass to help you hack your way through all the higher glycemic options. But again, you want to do that in moderation. So with blood sugar, glucose monitors are very, very helpful. I do have a discount code if you do want to look into that. So drop glucose monitor in the comments after I repost because I will not see any of your live comments, unfortunately. So let me know. I will give you the links to if you want anything, I'll just give you all three links: blood glucose monitor, I'll give you my freebie, my GI guide, and I'll also give you the master class, which there is a small fee for that. So just depending on what you're able to do. But again, if you are able to invest in something, I would suggest the master class. It is very affordable and it's going to teach you all the things that you need to know about keeping your blood sugar regulated. So hopefully this was helpful. And if it wasn't, then I'm sorry I wasted your time. And I'm sorry that you had to read all of these ridiculous comments that always come with live videos. I don't know where they come from. But from what I understand is there are groups, there are trolling groups that try to hop onto live videos and they do their best to knock someone off of their, purpose for being on it. And then whoever gets them to get so upset or whatever the most, then that person wins and gets a gift card or something. I mean, what is the world coming down to these days? It is ridiculous. People will do anything for some money, I guess. So thank you again. Again, comment after I post. And on Instagram, if you have any issues finding my live videos, always go off of the profile grid because after 24 hours, they move off of my main profile grid to the little Reels play button. So just so you know that. And then if you don't want to miss any of my live videos or any of my content, make sure you go to my profile, click turn on notifications. You can choose to follow and be notified of my stories, my live videos, my reels, whatever you choose. Or you can just shut me off altogether. Okay. Teddy is in the house. Love you, girl. All right, friends, make it a good 2024. And we're gonna have a good year. We're gonna have a good year, friends. Goodbye.